Hello everyone, this is actually my sixth time trying to record this. I keep messing it up for some reason. I've been to the cinema again. I've braved it again during pandemic times to bring you this review. I've just been to see the new Marvel movie, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I wasn't going to go. I was meant to go the other day when it first came out, but then I was a bit nervous because I don't really like going places anymore. But then I thought, you know what, I'll go to a nice early one. Went to sit in IMAX, the room's nice and big and it wasn't too busy, and overall it was fine in terms of the locale, but the movie itself was very, very good. I really enjoyed it. I said in my Suicide Squad review, and I didn't do a review for Black Widow for whatever reason, but I did kind of think maybe I've had enough of these kind of big budget superhero movies. Maybe it's just not my thing anymore, which is fine, because there's been like 25 Marvel or MCU ones alone, which is a lot. And you know, I'm older now and your taste changes, you get older, even though I'm a big comic book guy, but I really enjoyed this. It really stood out because it's the first MCU movie about an Asian superhero, and the whole movie is geared in that sense. It's essentially an Asian kung fu movie for the most part, with a big Hollywood superhero movie budget, which is great. A fair part of the movie is in Mandarin as well. I believe it's Mandarin. And it's kind of subtitled and that, which is cool with me because I love international films anyway. So this was really cool. It really made it stand out from every other MCU movie. Don't get me wrong, there are still quite a lot of similarities, but they allowed it to have its own identity, which I really liked. It's almost a completely Asian cast as well. Like Shang-Chi himself is played by Simu Liu. I've checked how to pronounce these names as well because I want to get them right. And I haven't seen him in anything before. He's been around for a while, but he just seemed like a pretty cool guy, and I've seen him promoting the film and stuff like that, and I knew I was going to like him just because I like him as a person from what I've seen of him, kind of thing. And Awkwafina I really like. I saw her in a Chinese film called The Farewell, which was really good, and she was really likeable in it, so I knew I was going to like her. And she was in the Jumanji sequel as well, I think, but she's, you know, become more and more famous as time's gone by, so she's probably the biggest name for the younger cast in this film. And she was Shang-Chi's best friend Katie, and they had a really good relationship. Like, she's kind of the comic relief of the film, but she wasn't annoying like a lot of them are. I mean, I like her anyway, so you know, some people may find her irritating, I don't know, because sometimes those kind of comic relief characters were, but she was more than that because she was kind of his best friend as well. Probably I haven't said, no spoilers, just so you know. But yeah, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that they were really good friends, and like at no point does it veer towards like a romantic thing. And it's quite nice to see, especially in like a big franchise movie, a male and female almost co-leads kind of thing, where they don't have to have any kind of romantic angle. Like, long gone is the days where in action movies and stuff the female lead and the male lead have to have some sort of romantic entanglement, but they're just really good friends, and that just, you know, that just shows, and it's quite nice to see. Some other notable Asian actors like Michelle Yeoh and Tony Leung show up as well, and Tony Leung plays Shang-Chi's father, and he's kind of the Mandarin, but it's a complicated thing that I won't get into because it's just better when you see it in the film. They do kind of explain how the Mandarin and the Ten Rings have been part of the MCU before, and they just, you know, they wrap that up nicely, and they kind of go, this is what's happening, which is really good. But again, I won't go into that. They do use a lot of flashbacks. The film has quite a long running time. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, which I honestly thought if I went to see it would be too much. I thought, you know, it's going to be an okay like action movie, and like, I'll probably enjoy it, but I'll probably go, you know, you could have shaved a few bits here and there. But to be honest, I didn't really find that. Like, I was aware it had been going on for a while, but I never felt like it had gone on too long. And I'm not a big fan of flashbacks in movies. Like, I get why they work as storytelling devices and stuff like that, but for me, I like a continuous story. That's just me. I don't like, you know, they build up momentum and suddenly you're going back to this other thing. And there's quite a lot of flashbacks in this, like detailing like Shang-Chi's relationship with his sister and with his parents and stuff like that. And at first I was like, oh, here we go, I have to sit through these. But they kind of build really nicely towards the end of the film, where it explains all the missing pieces in the story and the characters. And I kind of went, actually, yeah, that's a really nice story. It's not just like, you know, it's not just the action scenes and stuff like that. It's actually had a nice little emotional sort of core to it, which is really what I'm all about, especially in these movies. You need a little something like that. But yeah, that worked really well for me. And like I say, for the most part, it's kind of a big budget martial arts movie, which is pretty cool because I like martial arts stuff. Like when I say I like international cinema, not so much martial arts things, but I don't mind them. But I find with things like the John Wick movies, for example, they're just not for me. Like they're really good at what they are. You know, they're non-stop action movies with all kind of martial arts and stuff going on. But for me, I just get fed up with that sort of thing after a little while. So I sort of thought that might be the case with this, but I really didn't. It's quite well done in a lot of places, and there's just some cool kind of unique characters and stuff like that. There's one character who's called like Death Dealer, I think he's called. I don't think they name him in the film, but I know I've seen the toy where he's called that, and he looks super cool, and he's like one of the bad guys, but he's not really in it as much as I would have liked. I was hoping he'd get one big kind of like fight scene in that, but unfortunately he's not in it that much, but he's still, you know, he's still pretty cool. My only sort of downside about the film, and again this is me, I was saying that I thought I'd get fed up with too much martial arts stuff. I do kind of wish they stuck with that, because by the third act of the film, like towards the end, it kind of goes into, which I expected to be fair, the kind of the normal sort of superhero movie template where you have a big CGI battle at the end. And again, I won't go into details about it because it was perfectly fine, but I would have liked it just to carry on with a martial arts theme and just had a big kind of martial arts battle sort of thing towards the end rather than more sort of CGI based. But again, you know, it's not something I would say was bad. It just, you know, it kind of was a bit kind of, that's what they always do sort of thing. There was no like laser beam shooting into the sky like they normally have, but you know, it wasn't too bad. And the only other thing is, and this isn't me making any kind of original observation because I've seen this talked about a few times online since the couple of days since this film came out and before with Marvel films, is that sometimes they look a bit bland kind of visually, and I get it what people are saying, because this one, like, there's some pretty big, like say actually early on in the film there's a few fight scenes and stuff like that, so a lot of them take place kind of at night, and I was kind of going, I can't really see what's going on all the time, which is kind of weird because I know there's some cool intricate stuff going on that's been well laid out, and at some points I'm just kind of going, it's a bit dark, can't really see it. But then later on, I say during towards the third act with the big climactic battles, it's all kind of against just kind of a muddy sort of darkish grey background, and it just makes it, again, I don't know if I would have thought about it if I hadn't have read it, or if I would have even thought that myself. It just kind of makes it all look a bit kind of just, you know, meh, like. And I thought, like, when I watched Avengers Endgame, like, I was well caught up in the story and that. I love it. I love Avengers Endgame, no complaints about it at all. But then I realised, like, the last battle of that was a bit kind of grim and grey, like it was in a big crater, and it was just kind of like, I don't know why they just don't have a bit more colour to it. I'm not saying it needs to be on like a rainbow, but you know, just something a bit more vibrant would be nice. I don't know why they have to do that in all these films. It's really, really odd. Also, I will say there's lots of really cool animals in it as well, which I really like. I'm a big fan. Anytime there's movies with big animals in, I'm a big fan of them. That's probably my favourite bit of the movie. But yeah, overall though, I really, really enjoyed it. I think at times I almost loved it. Like it was about halfway through, I was like, I'm loving this. And I think, like I say, it kind of ends a bit traditionally on like the third act, the ending battle kind of thing, which kind of took me out of it a little bit, but not to the point where it soured me on the movie. It just wasn't quite the like love it like I was on my way to, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it's a really good movie. I think if you're an MCU fan, I think you'll enjoy it. I think if you're a martial arts fan and these things aren't necessarily normally your thing, you might enjoy it as well. And it's not a bad way to spend a couple of hours. I saw it in IMAX, which was really good as well. I'm a big fan of IMAX because everything's just big and loud and in your face. But yeah, I really like it, and I think it is kind of a fresh start for the MCU in a lot of ways. It's kind of a unique kind of movie for what we've seen so far, if that makes sense. And yeah, I say it was nice to see an MCU movie in the cinema, because it's been over 2 years since Spider-Man Far From Home came out. I watched Black Widow at home, and even though we've seen it a million times on all the Disney Plus shows, seeing the Marvel logo on a big screen again was really cool. Made me a bit emotional. I was like, yeah, we're back. But yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, I recommend Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is a long title, but I recommend it. Thank you very much.